Imagine a world where the ancient oak, rooted for centuries, suddenly decides to stretch its limbs and wander. Picture a forest not as a static collection of trees, but as a slow, deliberate migration. This isn't a dream, nor is it a nightmare. Welcome to Alternatify, the channel where we delve into the bizarre, the beautiful, and the utterly improbable. We explore the fascinating corners of what-if scenarios, pushing the boundaries of our understanding. Today, we pose a question that might seem whimsical at first glance. What if plants could walk? What if the flora that blankets our planet possessed the ability to move, to migrate, to truly roam? The implications are profound, creating ripple effects across every facet of existence. We're about to journey into an alien world, one shaped by science, history, and the very fabric of life itself. Prepare for a discussion that balances utopian visions with thorny, undeniable challenges. The concept of mobile flora isn't entirely new to our collective imagination. Science fiction has long toyed with the idea, giving us memorable examples. Think of Tolkien's venerable Ents, the ancient tree herders, or the menacing triffids, carnivorous plants that stalked their prey. Our inspiration, however, stems from nature's own quiet marvels. Plants are already complex, resilient, and incredibly powerful organisms. They form the very foundation of nearly every ecosystem on Earth, silently orchestrating life. Even in our current reality, plants exhibit subtle, slow movements. They grow towards light, roots seek out water, and seeds disperse across vast distances. We're simply amplifying these inherent, often imperceptible motions to a grander scale. This fascination with alternative histories allows us to better understand our own world. By exploring such radical departures, we gain fresh perspectives on the delicate balance and intricate systems that define our present reality. The fundamental challenge for any mobile plant would be overcoming its inherent lack of a skeletal structure. Unlike animals, plants rely on turgor pressure and rigid cell walls for support, not bones and muscles. This requires a radical evolutionary leap. One compelling option involves vastly expanded and strengthened root systems. Imagine roots that could articulate, acting like powerful, slow-moving legs. This would be a ponderous, deliberate form of locomotion, perhaps moving only a few feet a day. Another possibility lies in hydraulic propulsion, utilizing internal pressure chambers. Plants could inflate and deflate specialized tissues, creating a kind of slow, rhythmic stepping motion. This method might allow for more rapid movement, but would demand immense energy. Perhaps plants wouldn't move independently at all. They could form symbiotic partnerships, relying on mobile fungi or even animals for transportation. Imagine a plant that releases chemical signals, attracting a large creature to carry it to a new location. Then there's the more dramatic triffid approach, where plants evolve dedicated muscular appendages. These could be modified stalks or specialized root structures that function explicitly as legs. This would represent a complete re-engineering of plant anatomy. Regardless of the mechanism, universal requirements would remain constant. Mobile plants would need immense energy reserves to power their movement. They would also require sophisticated sensory systems for navigation, avoiding obstacles, and finding resources. The advent of mobile flora would utterly disrupt existing food chains. Herbivores, accustomed to static meals, would have to adapt to tracking their food. Carnivores, in turn, would develop new hunting strategies to pursue these mobile herbivores. Competition for resources would intensify dramatically among plants themselves. Forests might engage in slow-motion battles for sunlight and soil nutrients. We might even see plants forming alliances, moving together for collective defense or resource acquisition. The very landscape would undergo a profound transformation. Dynamic, ever-shifting forests would become the norm, with entire biomes migrating across continents. The definition of a fixed ecosystem would become obsolete, replaced by mobile communities. Atmospheric regulation would also face significant changes. The constant movement of vast plant masses could alter patterns of CO2 absorption and oxygen release. This might lead to unpredictable shifts in global climate patterns. Furthermore, mobile plants could become potent vectors for disease. Pathogens, once confined to specific regions, could be carried across vast distances by migrating flora. This would introduce new challenges for ecological stability and biodiversity. In a world of walking plants, traditional agriculture as we know it would become largely obsolete. Farming static fields would be impossible if your crops simply wandered off. Humanity would need entirely new methods of food production. This could involve mobile symbiosis, where humans cultivate plants that move with them. Alternatively, controlled, enclosed environments might become the primary means of food cultivation. Vertical farms and hydroponic systems would be essential. Our architecture and infrastructure would also demand a radical redesign. Fixed cities would be vulnerable to migrating forests or aggressive plant species. We might see the rise of mobile cities, or buildings designed to adapt and move with the landscape. Warfare would be transformed beyond recognition. Mobile plants could be weaponized, acting as living fortresses or biological siege engines. The very landscape could become a weapon, shifting to trap or defend. Culturally and societally, our relationship with nature would be fundamentally redefined. New art forms, literature and philosophies would emerge, reflecting this dynamic living world. Our understanding of life itself would expand. Finally, profound ethical dilemmas would arise. What rights do mobile plants possess? Are they to be controlled, exploited, or revered? The very definition of life and sentience would be challenged, forcing humanity to confront its place in the natural order. Let us indulge in some positive imaginings of this mobile world. Picture vast, living forests that slowly traverse continents, their canopy a moving ocean of green. Imagine cities built upon the backs of colossal ancient trees, nomadic and self-sustaining. Scientific breakthroughs would accelerate at an unprecedented pace. The study of plant locomotion and intelligence would revolutionize biology and engineering. New forms of art and architecture would emerge, inspired by the living landscape. However, the negative imaginings are equally compelling. Constant threats from aggressive, mobile plant species could plague humanity. Plant-borne diseases carried by migrating flora could devastate populations. The ethical dilemmas would be ever-present. Would we domesticate these walking plants, or would they remain wild and untamed? The potential for conflict, both between plant species and between plants and humans, would be immense. The scientific advancements spurred by such a world would be revolutionary. Biology, botany, and ecology would be completely rewritten. Engineering fields like robotics and sustainable technology would find new inspiration in living mechanisms. Our environmental awareness would reach unprecedented heights. Living in such a dynamic, interconnected world would force a deeper understanding of ecological processes. This heightened awareness could lead to unparalleled conservation efforts. Perhaps most significantly, philosophical shifts would challenge our core beliefs. The very notions of consciousness, intelligence, and sentience would be re-evaluated. We would gain a profound new respect for the intricate complexity of nature. This thought experiment, though fantastical, illuminates the delicate balance of our own world. It underscores how a single fundamental change can cascade through every aspect of existence, reshaping reality itself. So, we've journeyed through a world where plants walk, where forests migrate, and where humanity's place is utterly transformed. We've explored the biological possibilities, the ecological upheavals, and the profound societal shifts. Is this a vision of a vibrant living utopia, or a chaotic, dangerous dystopia? What are your thoughts on a world where the very ground beneath your feet might decide to wander off? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this speculative dive into the improbable, remember to like this video, share it with your fellow curious minds, and subscribe to Alternatify for more thought-provoking explorations. What other what-if scenarios would you like us to tackle next?